Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we all watch Shark Tank and we watch in amazement as these people do these perfect pitches. Well, sometimes there's a presentation coach behind the scenes helping them with that pitch. We'll meet the great Kat Weaver next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I'm a big Shark Tank fan, and I am always nervous for the people doing the pitching because you're watching them, and we know it's all been edited, but sometimes the pitch just falls on deaf ears, and sometimes they get an investor like Mark Cuban to believe in their company. Well, how do you prepare for something like that? Well, you hire somebody like Kat Weaver. She is the founder of Power to Pitch. She's a presentation coach. Thanks for coming on the show.
I appreciate you having me.
Well, I was so impressed with your background. What was your first company and when did you create it?
So I thought I wanted to go into medicine, and I ended up having my stuff stolen out of my gym locker. So I literally started my first company out of my college dorm room. I created wearable wrist wallets. I didn't want to be a fanny pack girl, so I started making them for myself, and then I had people knocking on my dorm room door. How do I want to go travel and, and go to the gym and do all these things. And I thought, okay, I really have something here. So I ended up going to my mom's bridal store, learned how to manufacture products, and then changed my major to entrepreneurship then.
Wow. And then you are just phenomenal when it comes to the pitch. You have some kind of crazy record of how many successful pitches in a row?
So my claim to fame is that I have won 22 of 23 pitch competitions, which amounted in over 6 figures of equity-free capital that I used to scale my first company. But it only stemmed from this hunger to survive. I wasn't a natural pitcher. I got super nervous. I didn't want to be up there and talk about what I was doing. So my mom actually, when I was making my products out of her store, she lost her store to a fire of her business of 26 years. So my professor said, hey, you should talk about your business and these pitch competitions. And I said, well, what the heck is that? And I learned and iterated over and over and over again, and realized that when I was clear and concise on who I was and what I wanted, it got people to pay attention. And that's what allowed me to scale the business and do everything from Amazon and retail and even Good Morning America 4 times.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, when you look at Shark Tank, I mean, how much is this is myth and how much is this reality? Is this what a real pitch looks like?
So it's actually not as realistic as a lot of people think. It's quite gamified. And what people don't realize is that, yeah, you may get an offer on TV, but you're still going to have to go into due diligence with a ton of lawyers after. It's not going to fill out most likely your entire round size of what you actually want to fundraise for the business. And I know a lot of founders who went on the show who end up trying to buy themselves out of the deal. It's not every single deal. It's incredible PR. It's great pitch experience, but it is quite unrealistic for most entrepreneurs.
And I love your website. We're going to pull up your website. And as we scroll down the website, I want to give you a chance to kind of brag about your partner.
I am very lucky to have partnered with a woman named Katie Dunn. I was introduced to her by one of her investments. So I would help this founder with a pitch, and she said, you got to meet our lead angel investor. And I said, oh gosh, another Zoom meeting. But we talked about all the same things, had the same mission. And Katie is an active angel in over 17 companies. She was in finance for 25 years, managed over $10 billion of commercial real estate. Wow. So she brings the investor and due diligence perspective to all of our programming, and then I'm the founder and storytelling perspective. But she's actually based in New York. I'm obviously here in Dallas, and we worked together for over a year before ever even meeting in person. We just had that kind of camaraderie and trust, and It's great to have someone who can give a collaborative perspective in their own way, but also you don't even have to coach them on what to say because they already know.
That's outstanding. I also want to brag about her social media. She is one of the most prolific content creators I've ever seen. She has so many tips on YouTube that you can benefit from. I found one. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Be careful of the number of people claiming to help and mentor your startup. As a pitch coach who's helped founders raise millions in grants and venture capital, we see founders take on too many mentors. They go to all these different accelerators, and it ends up taking them away from running the business. You want to look out for, first, what has this person accomplished, and is it similar in what you're going after? 2, make sure their advice doesn't conflict with the advice of those who have went through that and really matter. 3, that time spent brainstorming with these people who are volunteering their time actually takes you away from running the business. I personally, in my first company, wasted so much time with all these extra mentors who I was so grateful for their help. They all had good intentions, but they weren't the right people that I should have been connecting with and spending 30-minute to 1 hour long plus meetings with. You want to be grateful for their advice, but just be mindful of the amount of time you spend filtering the right advice. By being selective and strategic with your mentors, it will pay off in the end. It's going to save you time, and it will hopefully get you your end result more efficiently. Not all accelerators are bad, but not all accelerators are right for you. So just make sure that you're picky and having the right people in your corner. If you want to learn more about our fundraising program and how we directly connect you with investors in your industry, apply at the link below. Thanks for watching, and as always, let us know if you have a new topic you'd like us to cover in a next video. Thanks for watching.
I love it. Okay, how did you come up with your topics?
So it is all based on the hundreds of questions we get from founders a week. So we'll have founders, commenting on a lot of our posts. We're really active on LinkedIn as well, and literally sliding into our DMs saying, how do I manage this or this accelerator, or this opportunity? What instrument do I use to fundraise? And we know that this is a common issue amongst a lot of entrepreneurs who are trying to figure out if they're VC backable or trying to fundraise. So that really is a lot of what we say, you know what, instead of taking a call, we're going to make you a video about it, and then in hopes to inspire and educate on other founders as well.
Yeah, you could literally spend hours watching all of Kat's videos, so I encourage you to check those out. I also want to brag about your testimonial page. As we scrolled down the testimonial page, we found some great endorsements. Here's one of them.
I'm April Wachtel, and I'm the founder and CEO of Cheeky Cocktails. I'm a former brand ambassador for Bacardi, consultant for Diageo, and cocktail instructor at Astor Center Ice and more. I've taught over 12,000 students how to make cocktails. I knew I needed help raising money for Cheeky, so I enrolled in the Power to Pitch program, and I'm 100% sure working with Kat and Katie has transformed my business. I went from feeling completely lost about the pitch process to seeing investors get the story and see the opportunity immediately. Taking the Power to Pitch program has been one of the best investments I could have made in my business, and I couldn't recommend it more highly.
Wow. Okay, give us an update. Since that was filmed, what happened?
So April is an incredible founder, and we're excited to say that she, since that video, has taken on 8 new investors with our pitch and positioning help. She was actually trying to fundraise for over an entire year all on her own, joined our program, and within less than a month, she started receiving her first angel checks. And then actually recently, the Kardashians even featured her cocktails with their 818 tequila. And it all stemmed from she got super clear on her positioning and the brand story and what she needed and wanted at the end of the day. And then pitch, when you work on your pitch, it goes into so many other facets, whether you're going for a retailer or a grant or wholesale or even investors. It's a skill that you really want to hone and practice because it's going to get you into so many more places than you think is possible.
Sure. Okay. I want to talk about the kinds of clients you like to work with, because if somebody comes to you with a cocktail napkin and an idea, that's not really your client, is it?
Yeah, so as exciting as some ideas can be, we want to make sure that we're the right fit for a founder. So we interview and vet every single one of them. You have to have some sort of a validated MVP and be VC backable, meaning that you've done something like getting an email list of customers, pre-sales, letters of intent, strategic partners, something to validate the concept in some way. You can still be pre-revenue again, or we even help and serve founders who are doing over $1 million. But it's a matter of what qualifies, what's proprietary to you, and then we make sure that you're 4 things: coachable, transparent, gritty, and passionate. Those are the 4 factors that a lot of investors are looking for, because we like to say that investors buy into you before what you do, because if you pivot or something happens at the end of the day, you're the one to take the business into the next stages. So we make sure that we screen founders for doing that, and then we essentially go to the ends of the earth with them and making sure that they get funded faster.
Outstanding. Okay, final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
I would like to say that as glorified as VC money and investor money is, it's not for every type of business. There are grants, there are debt and credit options, so don't be discouraged if you're talking to so many other investors, angels, and you keep getting no's. You can get up to over 200 no's before you even get one good yes. So make sure you take the time to explore your options before deciding to give up equity, because equity is the most expensive form of capital. So it's something to not take lightly, as exciting as getting some big investor checks and saying, you want to be $1 billion company might be. So I want to leave founders with that, because there's a lot of misconceptions and informed advice out there about what makes a good company. And just because you don't have a ton of investors on your cap table doesn't mean that you're not a good company.
Outstanding. Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom with the world. And we're going to end with the website, which is powertopitch.com. The great Kat Weaver. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.